Let's bring on, have we got the lovable Michael Knowles? There he is, the semi-lovable Michael Knowles.
Semi is generous. That's, I'll take it, though.
How you doing? How's it? Hey, I listened to the show. It's the Michael Knowles show. It really is good. You're doing a. I'm shocked. I mean, I'm
as shocked as anybody. I was really tempted to just make it 45 minutes of silence and give the people what they want, but we have words in it anyway. Frankly, some of the best words, folks.
You know all the best words. I've always admired that about you. So I brought you on because I had to talk about this story about NASA now has, and we all remember NASA, they used to do something, they used to do Muslim outreach.
I believe it was, yeah, I know in the last 8 years, the primary mission of NASA, this is not hyperbole or a joke, was outreach to the Muslim world, according to a director at NASA. But I don't remember what they did before that.
You know, what I love about the Obama administration is it was so insane that and the press was kind of covering it like it was normal, that we kind of accept it. I mean, really, I was joking in the opening about Trump climbing to the top of the Empire State Building with a beautiful girl in his arms. If that happened, it would still be less insane than the Obama administration. So now NASA has hired what is a planetary?
Well, it's the Planetary Protection Officer. This is a good topic to talk about today because, as you can tell, I took a turn on the sun over the weekend, on the face of the sun. So, yes, NASA has gone in. And you know what's funny, by the way? Just thinking that NASA's primary mission was outreach to the Muslim world under Barack Obama, that is like the 65th most bizarre thing in his administration. That's why we don't think about it. You're exactly right. Now they're hiring the Planetary Protection Officer. They're offering a $160,000 to $180,000 salary for someone who has a secret security clearance and, quote, advanced knowledge of planetary protection. I don't know where you
protecting us. Well, I hate to ask the big question, but protecting us from what exactly?
Well, obviously it has to go to Gore. I think you're absolutely right. This is the only guy with the credentials to do it. But what the Planetary Protection Officer is supposed to do is protect us from aliens. Really is to protect us from any alien microbes, and also as we explore other planets to protect them from us, which is probably a better use of resources.
So, are we going to build a wall?
We've got to. Well, we're allowed to protect against extraterrestrial aliens, but not against terrestrial aliens. That the government can't do that. That's very bigoted.
I don't want those little green men coming and taking my job.
Yeah. That's right. They're doing the jobs that Earthlings won't do, don't you know?
Exactly. This is a crisis, for crying out loud. Until you came on here, I had no idea. So what does NASA do anything anymore? Seriously?
No. The answer is no. But there is good news on the horizon. There actually seems to have been some move in the right direction. You know, in 1966, height of the space race, we're gearing up to go to the moon. NASA constituted over 4% of the federal budget. I think it was 4.5 or 4.4% of the annual federal budget. Today, it comprises 0.47% of the annual federal budget. Wow. Very little money. It's been declining ever since then. Part of the reason, you know, the last time we sent a human being into beyond low Earth orbit was 1972.
Wow, really? Is that right?
Apollo 17, it was 45 years ago, was the last time a human being left near Earth orbit. And the reason for that is it's extremely expensive. And there's a lot of space out there.
There's nothing out there, yeah.
There's nothing out there. But just to launch one of those shuttles to go to the moon cost $711 million in 2016 dollars, which, just to put that in, and that doesn't, I'm sorry, that's just to build it. That actually doesn't include the cost to launch it. And to put that in perspective, in 2016 dollars, to build the Empire State Building would cost about $650 million. Okay. So it's, I mean, you're just to build the thing, you have to build 15% more than the Empire State Building.
And unless you get to Mars, there's nothing out there, basically.
There's a lot of space and not a lot to see, I suppose.
Yeah.
But the real story here is that finally, for the first time in over 50 years, we are beginning to have private partnerships and have private industry begin to explore space. And this is, I think, one of the unintended consequences of the Apollo program and the space race. You know, we were able to land on the moon within 8 years of JFK calling for it, which is a pretty amazing thing. But it seems to have crowded out all of the talent and all of the funding that could have gone toward private space industry and private space exploration.
It's classic government.
Classic government.
Everything the government touches turns to crap.
That's right. That's right. And, the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Right.
There were some pretty good returns. We beat Russia to the moon and so on. We beat Russia to that soundstage in Culver City, I mean. But
yeah, I saw that movie, yeah.
But as a result, there is no coincidence, I think, that only as NASA, as a percentage of the federal budget, has decreased basically to nothing, are you seeing people like Elon Musk and Boeing and so on developing private technologies. And even now there's a lot of red tape at NASA. Only within the last 3 years have you seen NASA starting to partner with individuals to try to send astronauts to the moon commercially rather than buying seats on Russian shuttles. So the government did a great thing in the 60s, and then the result is 50 to 60 years of slowed progress.
So now, just to wrap this up, I have to ask: this guy is literally going to protect us from alien microbes, you said. So
there is a great story. So I'll leave it to the government. Government has never found a job too absurd to pay people too much money for. But there was a 9-year-old boy who applied for this position, and he said, "Look, I'm young enough that I can begin to think like an alien. I think I'd be great. I've seen all of the space movies," and NASA did write him back. Certainly he was more qualified than anything the NASA officers were doing during the Obama administration. But as we're looking to come up with a federal budget, looking for all this money to have tax reform and Obamacare, perhaps the Planetary Protection Officer is not totally necessary.
Give that kid a job. All right, Michael Knowles is the host of the Michael Knowles Show now, which is absolutely terrific. Turn it on, and I hope it will be just completely silent like your book.
So I'm sure we'll go right to number one.
Good talking to you.